miscellaneous topics, the standard reports, AP to GL reconciliation, and period closure. Okay, so in a normal live environment, like once the invoices are created and payments are made, as I said, the invoice validation is scheduled overnight, create accounting is scheduled overnight, then system should take care of other things. But if you still want to run some kind of a reports which are required for different users, you can see there are a couple of reports. You run invoice register, which will show you the list of all the invoices created under operating unit, payments register, which will show the list of all the payments. Similarly, the bank account listing, which will give us the list of all the bank accounts available in the system, invoice approval status, invoice on hold report, invoice aging report, suppliers report, account analysis report, and there are so many other reports. And one of the main important report is the accounts payable trial balance. I'll get into the details now, but before I proceed with that, I also just give you an overview of some of the custom reports which are generally requested by most of the clients. Are these are the custom reports which we have created in our current client. So a report which will show the list of all bank accounts under all operating units. So this particular bank account listing report, and couple of these reports, even though they are standard report, they have got some kind of a limitations. They are not in a proper format, or they what do you call, give the report of some cases, like even though you have an access to multiple operating units through a single responsibility, but you need to run the report for each operating unit at a time. You cannot run for all the operating units at a time. So most of our reports in our current client are basically kind of a report wherein through a single report, I'll be able to get the data of all the operating units. And also something called SLA accounting errors report. So subledger exceptions report is a standard report which is provided by Oracle, but there are some limitations in those report, and hence we have gone with the SLA accounting errors report, and a report which will show the supplier and supplier size under all operating units. The existing suppliers report will not show all those things. So these are the other couple of other reports, and also the report which will show the details of the records which got stuck in the interface table. So this is the checklist for the AP period closure. So run something called subledger period close exceptions report. This will show you the list of all the records which can stop you from closing of the period. So all kind of exceptions, it is going to show that, and looking at those exceptions, it is going to show you the error name, and looking at the error name, you need to appropriately take an action. So if I run now subledger period close exception report in the current environment, it may show that there are a couple of invoices or payments which are not yet accounted. Okay, and it will also now show our payment which got stuck in the formatting state. It is not yet completed or it is not yet terminated. It will also show that particular record in my subledger period close exceptions report. So you need to ensure that all the invoices or payments are properly accounted and validated, and you should also ensure that if there are any payments, either they are terminated or completed, it should not be in process. So the subledger period close exception report now will show all those exceptions. So you should ensure that all those exceptions are cleared before you proceed with your period closure. Ensure that all the inbound interfaces into your Oracle API are complete. If there are any inbound interfaces into your Oracle API module, you should ensure that all those inbound interfaces are imported into API and they are accounted and validated. And you should ensure that all the PPR, payment process requests, are either complete or cancelled. So this is the step which I am saying. So in the current case, now system will not allow us to close the period. And ensure that if there are any recurring invoices, they are generated and accounted successfully, and ensure that the create accounting program is ran and all the invoice or payments are accounted. Okay, now just for your information, I'll try to run the subledger period close exception report. Now it is going to show you the exceptions for the current operating unit. What is the ledger? Reliance INR. Sorry. Period September. So wait for the program to be completed. Okay, click on view output. Okay, see, there are a lot of things. So these are all invoices and event class you can say unprocessed. So that means these invoices are not validated, and there are some payments which are in invalid status. So I, when as part of my testing, I created some bank accounts and I purposefully made some kind of a mistakes there, and because of that you can see the statuses are in invalid status. So now you need to go there and fix all those things. Only once you fix all those things, then only you should be able to proceed with the period closure. And in AP we have got one more good functionality, that whenever you are trying to close the period, if there are kind of an exceptions, you can sweep all those exceptions to the next period. So that means for all these invoices or the payments wherever I have got an issues, okay, when I sweep them to the next period, the accounting date for all these transactions will have the future date. We will have the date of 1st of October, that is the first date of my next period, and then system will allow me to close that particular period. So it is sweeping of those exceptions to the next period, so that system will allow you to close the current period. So in this case now, unless and until I fix these exceptions, it will not close the period. So I have got two options: fix all these exceptions, or I can sweep this to the next period.
How we will sweep this exceptions again? Yeah.
Okay. So before I sweep the exceptions, so what I'll do is first of all I'll run the create accounting to ensure that at least a couple of all these exceptions are cleared. But there are some exceptions related to invalid. Those will not be cleared unless until you make the setup changes. Okay. So first I'll run the create accounting so that everything whatever we have created today also will get accounted. So once the create accounting is completed, I will rerun the subledger accounting, the subledger period close exceptions. Then you will be able to see the exceptions. Okay, and then I will sweep them to the next period, and then you'll be able to see the impact of the sweeping of those exceptions. Meanwhile, I will also try to terminate my PPR. So this got stuck, right? I will terminate this. Now, as far as the PPR is concerned, that is terminated, so that should not be exception now. And as far as the invoices which are not accounted, I am running a create accounting, so that should not be issues. So if you follow the checklist, that's what I'm doing: run create accounting to ensure that all the invoice or payments are accounted, and ensure that all PPFs are either complete or cancelled. That had already done now. And once this is completed, I'll do a final run of the subledger period close exceptions, and then you should be able to see the exceptions there, and those exceptions will be swept to the next month. Okay, here you can see the create accounting program is completed in warning. The reason being, it is because of those exceptions. It was not able to create accounting for those payments, whatever I said, invalid. So I purposefully created the payments in such a way so that we will have some exceptions. Okay. Here you can see there are 4 payments in error. Okay. So these are the errors. It says that subledger accounting was unable to derive an account code combination using an account derivation rule of future dated payment, something like that. Okay. So those are the exceptions. Those will be now swept. Okay. Let me try to run the final subledger period exceptions report. Now even in the subledger period close exception report also, I will be able to see whatever I have seen in the create accounting. Period September. So this is the final report. Now we can see the exceptions are related to all those payments. Okay. So these are all the exceptions. Okay. So this is the payment numbers. Okay. Now I will try to close the period. When you are closing the period, that's where you will have an option to sweep them to the next period. Okay. Accounting, control payable periods. Okay. F11. What is your period name? September 17. Okay, so this is the period which you want to close, right? Okay, click on this drop down, change status from open to closed, and try to save this. See, you cannot close this period because exception exists. Please review and resolve all the exceptions that are listed in the period close exception report. Choose the exceptions button in the submit report. To submit this report, click on OK. Okay, so click on, it says that there are exceptions, so click on exceptions. Okay, if you click on review, it will show you all those exceptions. Okay, you do not want to review because you already know all those exceptions. What you can do is you can directly click on sweep. Okay, when you click on sweep, it is asking you to select the period to which you want to sweep. Okay, now it is not showing any periods in the drop down to sweep because in order to sweep them to the next period should be in open status. Okay, next period is what? October is not yet open. Okay, so what I will do is I will first open the October period. Control F11. Save this. Okay. Now I will try to close the September period. Close, save. It will give this message. Click on exceptions. Click on sweep. Now you can see October. You can select this and now click on submit. You choose to sweep the unaccounted transaction for this period. This action is irreversible. Do you want to continue? Okay. There is a request which got triggered in the background. Wait for the request to be completed, and once the request is completed, okay, you can go back and okay, the request is completed. Now go back and check the status of your September period. Still not closed. So these are the exceptions. Okay, there are some invoices which are not validated. Okay, these are the invoices which are unaccounted. Okay, why did not allow you to sweep and then proceed? So this particular sweep program is actually giving the details of all the transactions which will be sweep to the next month. Let us try once again. Change this to closed. Exceptions. Sweep. October. Okay, I don't know what's the problem here, but ultimately when you click on that sweep button, automatically those transactions will be swept and the status will change from open to closed. And once you check the status of those invoices, so take an example, I think this is one such example. So this is the payment 11. F, F11. Payment number is nothing but the document number. Control F11. Looking for something. Payment date.
GL date has changed to 01 October.
That's what I'm trying to check. Where is the GL date?
On the bottom side, bottom.
This is actually for the invoice. So for the, I'm looking for the GL date for the payment. I think this is the GL. Okay, hang on. ABC. Yeah, you are right. This is the GL. Yeah. This ABC 100 has got a different GL date. If I go to invoice. Yeah, you're right. Okay, so that's what it is like. So once you sweep, okay, automatically it is going to change the GL date of all these, only GL date, not the invoice or transaction date, okay, to the next open period, and then you should be able to proceed the what do you call your period closure. So this is how I actually use the sweeping functionality. I mean, not sure in this environment why it's not happening, but otherwise, you you follow exactly the same steps. Change the status to from open to closed, and then click on sweep button. Automatically, all those transactions will be swept to the next accounting period. So even our current client, we have got a lot of transactions which are in. We have been sweeping since last couple of months because there are some kind of an accounting issues wherein those issues are because of some setup issues, and in some cases it's Oracle SR issues. We are not able to make changes to setup issue because when you make those changes to setup issue, it has got some other impact. And there are some issues because of data corruption, and we have raised an open Oracle SR with them, and the SRs are actually running since last couple of weeks. So this is normal to sweep the transaction from one accounting period to the accounting next accounting period in a normal client environment. So that's how you open the period and close the period. And as far as the what do you call checklist is concerned, this is the checklist which you need to follow in order to do open and close. And one other point which I was talking about is the accounts payable trial balance. And with regard to reconciliation between your primary, sorry, your AP and GL, okay, what you need to ensure is you run your accounts payable trial balance in your AP module, okay, and the balance of your accounts payable trial balance of your AP should be matching exactly with your GL balance. If both are not matching, then there is somewhere some issues. So in our current case, I don't think so. Our accounts payable trial balance may match because we got some exceptions and there are some invoices which have not validated properly. And this being a testing environment, there are a couple of other issues. But in a normal live environment, once you run your accounts payable trial balance report, accounts payable trial balance report will show you the list of all the outstanding AP invoices, and that amount should be exactly matching with your GL accounting query. In GL, you need to go to the accounting query and check the balance for this AP liability account. If AP liability account says 100,000 rupees in GL, in AP also it should show the same 100,000 rupees. If both are matching, then you are good. If both are not matching, there are somewhere some issues. Either the data is stuck in the interface table, or the all the transactions are not accounted, or they are not properly swept to the next month, or there are some unvalidated invoices, or some what do you call some issues where there is some data corruptions. So it could be various reasons. But from a business user's perspective, once he closes the period, he is going to check this accounts payable trial balance is matching with the GL balance. If both are not matching, then he is going to raise a ticket with the ITT.